What's up, everyone? My name's Kamal. Welcome to another video. So I have some both good news and some not so great news. So let's start off with the not so great news. My left hand is now starting to give me issues, which means I will have to again restrict the amount of Path of Exile I'm playing, which is very frustrating because I'm working on what is presumably going to be the best build that I've done so far, thanks to some very, very gracious fellow players in the Discord server. Over the last few days, I have been given some absolutely insane items. I was given by Frax, one of our phenomenal Discord patrons, if you will, the Surrender, which is amazing. I've always wanted this shield. I've always wanted to make a, top tier counterattack build, and now I can. And also, as I was working on my Herald of Purity build, Jacked decided to give me a Herald of Purity ring, which is, again, just insane. And I am oh so grateful for these gifts. I'm still going to be playing the game. Of course, I'm an addict and a glutton for punishment. So, it is what it is. But I am going to have to restrict the amount that I'm playing, which is going to hinder how quickly I'm able to push with these two other builds I've been working on. So that's frustrating. The good news, however, is Legends of Runeterra actually just dropped today on mobile. Now, as many of you may know, I am a long time, I was going to say avid, but not really avid, just a very long time Magic the Gathering player, as I'm sure you could probably tell for, my handle is Kamal, and I've, if you haven't seen that before. So one of the things that has really frustrated me with Magic the Gathering for a really long time is that they actually don't have a good mobile, not even mobile, just a good virtual Magic the Gathering game. They do have Magic the Gathering Arena, which is pretty decent, to be honest. It's pretty damn decent. However, it's not for mobile. It took them forever to get friendsless and what's the word I'm looking for? Like where you can challenge somebody in particular, not just join a random a PvP. It's they actually have it now where you can duel or play against, play against people on your friends list, which is really awesome. But it took them way too long to get this rolling, and it's still just, if I'm going to play Magic, I'd rather play the cards. It feels like there's some things that are lacking in Magic the Gathering Arena, which happens with every Magic the Gathering virtual card game. For the longest time, your only option to play Magic the Gathering online was either via Skype, which is really weird, or not weird like you're a weirdo if you do it, but it's just it's not fun. And it feels weird to play like that because it's too easy for one person or the other to manipulate the game. You could put it that way. And it doesn't feel right. Magic the Gathering Arena, just something feels off about it when I played it, and I'm not really a huge fan. I tried Hearthstone. Hearthstone was just garbage. Hearthstone is so fucking stupid. I thought that Hearthstone was one of the worst things that Blizzard had put out, and then I just look at Blizzard recently and I'm like, oh, never mind, it's pretty much right there with everything else. So needless to say, not a fan of Hearthstone. And I decided, Riot Games, despite the fact that they're I'm pretty sure owned by Tencent, or maybe it's another company, but I'm pretty sure it's Tencent that they're owned by. And they've done some pretty drastic restructuring and changing in League of Legends that I wasn't really too fond of. I don't play League of Legends anymore. I don't really have any interest in it. I've gotten on and played a couple bot games here and there because, well, first off, I'm not going to put up with the stress of playing against other people. That just becomes a rage fest for all involved. And the game's just not that fun for me anymore. I don't really have that knack for PvP or competitive gameplay like I used to. But I tried Legends of Runeterra when the beta dropped for PC, and I have to admit I was pretty impressed. I found Legends of Runeterra to be actually the best virtual card game that I've played. I thought it's way better than Magic the Gathering Arena. It's far less pay to win. Now, granted, there are still, of course, always going to be pay to win aspects in any card game, but Legends of Runeterra, they go out of their way to try to avoid that from being able to happen. There's only like a certain amount of like rare wild cards that you can get per day type of thing. So I found it to be that they tried to work away from the pay to win aspects that all of these card games have. I never played Gwent. I played the game in Gwent that they forced me to play in The Witcher 3, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, I don't know. I don't understand this. I don't want to understand this. This is just not entertaining. And I never even considered downloading the Gwent standalone game. I love The Witcher 3. I think as far as RPGs go, Witcher 3 is definitely on the top 5 that I've ever played. But I'm not going to play Gwent. Gwent is just, it's not good. What other virtual card games are there that I've played? I think Shadowverse. I may have like downloaded it and tried it, but I don't really remember, which means it probably wasn't good. They all just seem to be lacking something. But once again, when I downloaded Legends of Runeterra for the first time and I played it, I was impressed. I was thoroughly impressed. I played it a lot for a few days to about a week. I played it a shit ton. And then I just moved on to other games. I went back to Path of Exile. I went back to, WoW Classic. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll get back on the game and see how it works for mobile. So it's now out on mobile. And I checked it out. I have it downloaded. And it functions as intended. It seems to be working pretty well. Which, I mean, once again, we're still waiting on a Magic the Gathering Arena mobile game. Magic introduced some like team fight tactics type thing, which is, it's so Magic, stay in your lane. Like, just make card games and make them good. Like, I don't know what this Mana Strike thing is or Duels of the Planeswalker, but these are all fucking terrible. Once again, if they took Magic the Gathering Arena and they put it on mobile, I could see it as being okay. If, they still had some further improvements, maybe added some more sets. Like, my biggest issue with Magic the Gathering Arena, I guess now that I'm done praising Legends of Runeterra, I would definitely download it if I were you and at least give it a shot. Try it out. It's free. They're not going to charge you anything. Also, if you download it, like, you get a whole bunch of free shit just right off the start to kind of get you going on your path. Now, my biggest issue with Magic the Gathering Arena is the fact that I can't make a custom deck from whatever cards I want. Like, I'm not a sanctioned Magic the Gathering player anymore. I quit doing that when they changed the card style. Back in, it was the set after Mirrodin. I believe it was actually the Mirrodin set when they started changing it. But that was the last set I played. I didn't play Champions of Kamigawa or anything past that because I just didn't like the direction the game was going. It just didn't mesh well with me. I love the Odyssey block. I love the Onslaught block. Like, if I had two blocks that I could play forever and ever and ever, it would be the Onslaught and the Odyssey block. best blocks that they've ever put out. But I really feel like they need to give us the ability to make old decks. Like, I have multiple Magic decks on my shelf. Occasionally, I'll pull down a couple decks, and me and my son will play. Me and my wife will play. You know, I have an Affinity deck. I have an old Blue-Green Madness. I have an old Psychotalk. You know, I have a Blue-White Control. I have my Mono Green Elves. And these are all decks that are from back then that are absolutely amazing. The funnest decks, you know. And there's no way for me to build those decks in Magic the Gathering Arena and play them, which, honestly, like, I'm one of these guys, like, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I still listen to basically all the same music that I listened to back in 2005, 2006. There's a few bands that I listen to now that weren't around back then, but for the most part, like, I listen to AFI. I listen, and not fucking Miss Murder type shit, like old AFI. I listen to, you know, like old Atreyu and fucking Underoath and things like that. Music that has been with me for, you know, the past 15 years or longer. And I would like to be able to do the same thing with Magic, but I'm not able to. That may be one of the reasons that Magic the Gathering really just doesn't sit well with me as far as the Magic the Gathering Arena goes. The fact that I can't build the decks that I love to play in person. I love to play these decks in person because they're fun. I know the decks, and I just really, really, really enjoy them. They remind me of back when I used to play in tournaments when I was a kid. I used to be a DCI, like, ranked fucking tournament player. And I want to still be able to play those decks against people. However, I can't do that in Magic the Gathering Arena, so it just doesn't really incentivize me to play the game. Legends of Runeterra, I don't have those same nostalgic feelings of the game itself, so it's kind of going into a whole new thing, and it plays very similar to Magic, but it also has some things that are similar to Hearthstone. Like, as the attacker, you attack. And if I remember correctly, the blocker chooses who blocks, which is great. One thing I never liked about Hearthstone was the fact that I, as the attacker, I'm like, okay, my guy attacks your guy. You know, like, my A card attacks your B card. Instead of just, I attack with all these, choose where the damage goes. I think that's a lot more fair, I guess. I don't know, maybe it's just something that's I'm being nitpicky about. The other thing that I do like about Legends of Runeterra that I believe that Hearthstone did right is every turn you get a mana. Every turn you get a mana, and so there's no way to get mana flooded or, you know, or to get a mana drought. Basically, where you're drawing nothing but lands or you're drawing no lands. I've had too many games where, you know, it's turn 6 and I've got 2 lands out and I'm like, I'll discard this card because I have too many cards in my hand and you can go. Great. All right, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna scoop. There's no point in me playing anymore. You've got a field full of creatures and you're refusing to attack because you're a fucking dick. So I'm just gonna scoop. Fuck you. So it happens. And the fact that Legends of Runeterra actually gives you 1 mana crystal per turn, it disallows that. Or it makes it harder for something like that to happen. Now, you can always build your decks wrong or, you know, get flooded with really high drop creatures. But the other thing that Legends of Runeterra does is it allows you to kind of carry over a few mana from one turn to the next to use in specific circumstances. Those specific circumstances are, like, I think it's sorceries or spell type cards. Either way, it lets you carry over a few mana. I mean, it's not like you can not use any of your mana crystals and next turn you have all of them. No, you only have a certain amount. But I feel like Legends of Runeterra, once again, just to reiterate it for the umpteenth time in this video, is quite far the best virtual card game that I've played myself. Now, this is all just my personal opinions, but I wanted to make this video to let you guys know once again that I'm going to be taking it slow on Path of Exile, because, like I said, now my left hand's fucking up on me. Awesome. And, well, the Legend of Runeterra is out on mobile. So I would say give it a shot. If you have played it, let me know down in the comment section what you think about the game. And if you haven't yet, why not? It's free. It's free. Just check it out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be doing a couple build guides on some modifications to some builds that I've done, and I am going to be slowly working on getting this game, or this surrender build, the counterattack build, towards in-game. That way I can do kind of a build video on that as well. But until next time, I'll see you.